Let me ask you a question. Who is Jesus? Who is Jesus? Very good. He came down from heaven. If he came down from heaven, that means that he is God, right? We understand God to be one God, but three persons, right? What are the three persons? The Father. So when we talk about the Son, we're talking about Jesus, right? Right. So anytime anybody asks, you can say Jesus is God, God the Son. Okay? That's always true. And God the Son became man, became a human being, came down on earth, like you said. How did he do that? Who was his mother? The Virgin Mary. What do you know about the Virgin Mary? Yes?
She married John.
And what else?
An angel came to her and she said the angel said she was gonna have a baby.
Yeah, the angel came to her and said she was going to have a baby. Do you know where she was when that happened? What city she was living in? Do you know?
Jerusalem.
No. Interesting. She was born in Jerusalem, but at that point she was being taken care of by Joseph, and they were living in Nazareth. Okay, it was another city. So after Jesus was born in Bethlehem, they went back to Nazareth, and Jesus grew up in Nazareth. Nazareth is in the part of the Holy Land that we call Galilee. You ever hear of Galilee? There's some very important cities in Galilee. One of them is Nazareth. One of them, no. That's all right. It's a very good guess. One of them is Cana. Cana is where Jesus did his first miracle in public because there was a wedding and they ran out of what?
Wine, and Jesus said to a boy, bring water in a basket.
Yes.
Bring it to the
They ran out of wine, and Jesus told the servants to bring water. And he turned the water into wine, okay? So they didn't have to run out of wine because it was embarrassing to have a wedding and to run out of wine, wasn't it? Okay, so these are the important things, many important things that we have. Yes?
They also ran out of bread.
I don't think they ran out of bread that time, but they ran out of bread some other times. Because Jesus was able to feed over 5,000 people with 5 loaves of bread, wasn't he? How did he do that? He did a miracle. He kept breaking the bread, and it kept breaking more and more. And out of 5 loaves, he had enough to feed 5,000 people. Yeah, that's the power that Jesus has, because Jesus is God. Very good. What are you? No. What else? So Jesus decided that he knew he had to finish staying here and go back to heaven. So he chose some people to be his followers, to be the leaders of his followers. Who are those people? Yes, you. The apostles. Can you name some of the apostles? Yes?
St. John the Baptist.
St. John the Baptist is one of the important saints, but he's not one of the apostles. But it's a good answer. Who are the apostles?
Judas.
Judas was an apostle. Who else? Yes, you.
Paul.
Who else? You have your hand up?
Peter.
Peter and Paul. Your church is named after Peter and Paul, right? Okay, Peter and Paul. Can you name some of the other apostles? St. John, yes. Who else? Who wrote the four Gospels? The four Gospels. Name me the four Gospels, somebody. Luke and John, we already said. Who else? Matthew. And who else? Mark. So Matthew and John were from the original 12 disciples, and Mark and Luke became disciples later on. Because the Bible tells us, are you ready for this? The Bible says there were 12 disciples, and then there were 70 more disciples. So Mark and Luke were part of the 70, okay? And then there were other ones. So those are the followers of Jesus. And then, who are the disciples of Jesus today? Who are the disciples of Jesus today? You and your moms and your dads and your yayas and papus and your aunts and your uncles. All of us are the disciples today because the work that they did to tell people about God and to bring happiness and joy and hope, who's going to do that today? We have to do it. Those original disciples already went to heaven. It's up to us to do that now. Can you do that? Okay, you can remember to be joyful and loving and kind and forgiving and sharing. Can you remember all of those kinds of things? If you do that, then you're going to make other people happy. You're going to bring joy to the world and to your families and to your church and everybody.